If you would like to advertise your business on Conversations with Cupid, airing every Thursday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Instinct Radio, email us at shay@middleclassmatchmaker.com. That's shay@middleclassmatchmaker.com.
You're listening to Conversations with Cupid Radio on InstinctRadio.net.
Hey everyone, happy Thursday and welcome to Conversations with Cupid. This is the show where we just talk about singles and singles issues and concerns and dating and love and relationships. And we're glad that you're joining us tonight. If you're new to joining us, I am Shay Primus. I am a certified matchmaker and dating coach, and I'm always joined by sexy singles, and tonight is no different. Tonight we will be talking about dating a mama's boy and a daddy's girl. And I have some singles in the house with me tonight who identify as mama's boys or daddy's girls. And we are really going to dig in on the pros and cons of dating a mama's boy or a daddy's girl. So I'm going to start with you, Erica, if you can introduce yourself. Everybody's single, so let them know how old you are, anything you want them to know about you. And then we'll jump in and get started.
Well, I'm Erica. 39. I'll be 40 next month, and I'm single.
Thank you for joining us, Erica. And you do identify as a daddy's girl.
I am a daddy's girl.
Okay. Thank you for being on the show with us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, Dante. It's so hilarious.
I'm Dante. I'm out of my 20s, and I love my mama.
Dante is crazy. Y'all know Dante. Y'all know Dante is crazy. You already know. All right, and Ashley.
I am Ashley. I am 36, soon to be 37 in a couple of months, and I am single, and I'm definitely a daddy's girl.
Thank you so much, Ashley, for being on the show, a fellow daddy's girl. All right, and we have Randolph. If you can introduce yourself.
First of all, I want to say thank you for having me, Shay. My name is Randolph. I am from a country town, Elberton, Georgia.
Where is Elberton, honey?
Here you go. Here you go.
Where is it?
So other side of your stomping grounds, Athens.
Oh, in Athens. You know what? I went to UGA.
That's right,
But
absolutely.
I have never, or maybe I passed through it and didn't know. I don't know.
On the outskirts.
Oh, okay. So the outskirts. Okay. So you're a Georgia boy like I'm a Georgia girl.
Georgia boy.
Okay.
I'm Bulldogs.
Yes.
I am 44 years old and currently dating with a purpose.
All right. Okay. Dating with a purpose. All right. So before we get started, let's begin our show by defining mama's boy and daddy's girl, because I don't want anyone to get it twisted. And we're not saying just because you have a mama, you're a mama's boy. Just because you have a daddy, your dad is involved in your life, that you're a daddy's girl. No, there's some definite specifics regarding being a mama's boy and a daddy's girl. So let's start with daddy's girl. According to Webster, a daddy's girl is defined as a girl or woman who is particularly attached to and indulged by her father. And for a mama's boy is a boy or man who is excessively influenced by or attached to his mother. Okay, so now we're going to jump in. All right, so Erica, why do you identify yourself as being a daddy's girl?
Because he's a superhero.
Okay.
He's the best. No, because actually, the relationship with my father and I, we still talk daily. So he calls me every morning.
Oh, wow.
And so we just chat or have a little conversation, and that's it. But he still caters
to you.
Yes.
And when you call him, he comes running.
Yes.
If you say, "Daddy, I need," he's there.
Yes, and he just moved 3 hours away.
Oh no.
And if I need help, he will come in town.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, Dante, why do you identify yourself as a mama's boy?
Well, first I was raised by my mother, but I had a lot of male influence growing up. But it's never been a time that she was not there for me. I don't care what was going on. I definitely did not talk to her about everything, but I didn't realize till later that I could have.
Oh.
So yeah, anytime she called me, that's proud. That right now that's priority.
She's priority. We're going to talk about that because, as you know, there are pros and cons to being a mama's boy and a daddy's girl. And we're definitely going to get into both pros and cons. All right, Ashley, why do you identify yourself as a daddy's girl?
So, like Erica, I talk to my dad daily. Every evening after work, he's calling me or I'm calling him. He's like my partner in crime. Like, really, we get into some mischief together, and my mother doesn't like it.
What? Like, oh wait, what? What kind of mischief are y'all getting?
My dad is my drinking partner.
Oh, so y'all go drinking together?
We kind of drink together.
That's hilarious.
It is hilarious. But like Erica, if I have something going on when I wasn't working, he called, and if I didn't sound right, he was on the road coming to check on me to see how I was doing. Or if there's something that needs to be done around the house and I can't get to it, he's coming to town to make sure he makes it happen.
But I know you're a do-it-yourselfer. You do a lot of things yourself.
I do, and I'm a little over it.
Okay, you're over it.
I'm over it.
Tired of killing spiders.
I tell people that I have been forced into being independent.
Okay.
I don't want to be independent because as soon as somebody comes in the picture, hands off, you can have it.
You're ready to step back.
Yes, I'm ready to step back. I know my role. I know how to step back. But in the meantime, it's either I got to do it or Daddy's going to come do it.
Okay, I understand that. All right, Randolph, why do you identify yourself as a mama's boy?
Oh, very deep. Well, for me, I come from having both parents. So, my father gives me my manhood, and my mother totally gives me my emotions. So, growing up, it was important to be in tune to both. But my dad was truly head of the household. So he was out of the home, and mom was around. So mom took care of the bandaging up, giving you information, getting you ready for bed, et cetera, et cetera. And, of course, if I needed to bounce something off of her, she was there, and then my dad would pick up on the weekends. So.
Okay, so you were primarily home with your mom.
Correct.
Because he was off working.
At work, correct.
Okay, and is that where your relationship started?
Of course.
And
Well,
how
it
is-
starts in the womb.
Right, of course. But I mean your closeness. I mean like your
My
closeness with your mom.
closeness, absolutely.
And how is it now? Because they shared how they're still in contact.
Very close.
Okay.
Very close. I can give her a phone call, bounce something off of her. Truly a real woman.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
real woman.
beautiful.
Yes, thank you.
I love it.
Thank you.
Yes, and I'm a daddy's girl too, and I have a little boy, so I'm always. This is an interesting topic for me because. I want to make sure I groom my son the right way as he grows up and he starts dating. I don't want to do anything negatively to impact him. So that's why this is an interesting conversation for me. But as a daddy's girl, I co-sign with you ladies. If I call my daddy right now, best believe he will be right here. If I say I need, he's right here. And I appreciate him. And let's talk about how your closeness with your mom or your dad impacts dating. Let's talk about that. Because some men can be intimidated by the father being around, and some ladies can be intimidated by the mama being close by. So has anybody had any issue where somebody was intimidated or concerned about the closeness between you and your parent?
I had one situation where a guy and I were ending our relationship, and he told me, "You're never going to find a guy that treats you the way that your dad does." And he was like, and that's going to be your biggest hang-up when it comes to dating because he thought I was looking for somebody to treat me like my dad did. And I'm like, I'm not. That person is never going to take the place of my dad. But my dad did teach me how I should be treated as a woman in a relationship. Doors should be open. I shouldn't have to, there's certain things I shouldn't have to do as a woman in a relationship. So that was a very interesting comment to hear from him saying, oh no, you're never going to be single for the rest of your life because
That's
of how you
ugly.
did. It was ugly.
And we cancel that in the atmosphere because
I
that
agree.
is
I
not
agree.
the truth.
I agree.
But I think that's a big misconception that people think that because your dad is so good to you or has treated you a certain way that you're expecting your husband to be your dad.
Right.
You're not.
You're not.
You have a dad.
Right.
I don't need you to raise me. I don't
Right.
need you to be my daddy. I just need you to be my husband. I think
Right.
that's a big misconception that people have. You're not looking for him to do what he does.
Right.
Your dad's still there.
Right.
It's not a replacement. Even if he was the greatest man on earth, he can't replace your daddy. You
Right.
know.
And I don't want to date my dad.
Who wants to date your dad? That's so gross. Like, I don't even want anybody close in age to my dad. Like, no. It's so nasty. But yes. But people do have that misconception. What about any of the guys? Any problems with ladies feeling like you were too close to mom? Dante has a story.
Oh.
He looks like he has
You look like a cat. You look like a cat that swallowed the mouse or something.
I don't actually have a story, but I'm real about it. Like I said, my mom didn't coddle me. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't, you know what I'm saying, even though she raised me, I grew up around her, and you know what I'm saying is what it was. I still had other influences in my life. She wasn't the only one.
Right.
But
other women, other men, both?
Both.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If not just my mother, if I had most questions, I would ask my grandmother.
Mm-hmm. You could be a grandmama's boy too, you know, because my son is too. You could be a mama's boy and a grandmama's boy.
I could ask my grandmother. You know, grandfather was present, but you didn't bother him with some things. You know what I'm saying? So with my mom, you know, like I said, later on in life is when I realized that I could actually talk to her about anything. Now, she has no problem letting anybody know I'm her son. Still to this day, like you know what I'm saying, like anybody that follows me on Facebook knows she was my WCW last week.
Aww,
so
I missed that post. How sweet.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, she was like, "Oh, well, you know." And then she gonna go on her little thing, and I can't, you know, block her. So. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, you don't want to block
you know,
mom.
like my sister actually blocked her. You know what I'm saying? It's just me and my sister. My sister blocked her. My sister got off Facebook because of my mama.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because she gonna comment on everything, and this ain't for you. Right. Most of this, a lot of this stuff not for you. She watched the show that she like, oh, that was a great show. I'm like, I'll be praying she don't watch my shows.
Right.
You know, it's like seriously.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
dating wise, it hadn't really been like an issue till after. It's like I told you, or I knew something ain't about I ain't like, or this, that, and other, or you know what I'm saying? We both Geminis.
Okay, well,
So.
I'm gonna tell you, I have dated a guy who he should be the poster child for a mama's boy. His mother was very, 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 very involved in his everyday decision-making life. Everything was in her name. She would call me and ask me questions about our relationship. She even asked me about our sex life. Like, she was very, very, very involved. Yes, way too much. And it was too much. Like, you know, he didn't set boundaries with her. And that's the thing. When you do have this issue, if your mate says, listen, your mom called me and asked me something very personal, and I think you should, you know, talk to her about it. And he was just like, well, that's mama. Well, you know, I'm like, no, sir. Like, I'm not going to be able to do this. To the point that even when he proposed, he was like, well, can you come live with us? Sir, I've been growing a long time. I'm not moving in with your mama. Are you crazy? So it was like, some people are. That's a unhealthy attachment. You know, and I don't have that kind of attachment to my daddy, and I hope y'all don't have that type of attachment. You know, and I think there's an unhealthy end of it. You know, as well. Let me check in on some of the comments from our Facebook friends as well, and I'll be going back and forth with those comments. Okay, Kiva says, my son is a grandmama's boy. There are two peas in a pod. I understand, Kiva. Ken Dollar says, I miss my grandmother. Oh, Ken, I miss mine too. Both of them sitting there listening to their stories. Okay, so Bianca said, I give anything to talk to my daddy. Oh. Tracy says, I'm definitely not a daddy's girl. And we'll talk about that too, because on the flip side, we're talking about being a mama's boy and a daddy's girl. But on the flip side, people who have mommy issues, like boys who didn't have their mommies, and girls who don't have their daddies, who have daddy issues, that's on a whole polar opposite end. We'll get into that a little bit too. Okay, so Kiva says, I miss my father. He passed 4 years ago, but he was there for everything. Bianca says, my daddy ain't. blank. Okay, we're gonna keep it moving. All right. Roosevelt says hello. Jess says that radio voice. Hi, Jess. Ken Dollar says, "Hey, look at Ashley looking all sophisticated."
Really?
So yeah, y'all, thank y'all for joining in. If you've had any issues with dating as it relates to your mom or your dad, ladies, please let us know, and we will read your comments online. I posted earlier this week, to tee up for this show. I asked my Facebook friends about being a mama's boy or a daddy's girl, and I wanted to read some of their comments because I was I was pleasantly surprised at some of the comments. So, I asked last night I asked about, dating a daddy's girl and what were some of the pros and cons. So I'm going to share those with you. One of the things that, that I said on that post was I believe that daddy's girls are ride or die. I think that we are ready to ride it out, because I remember, like, even growing up, if my mom and dad ever got into it, I'm on my daddy's side. Like, mama. He didn't say it like that.
Right.
He didn't mean it like that. And you grow up advocating for him. Right. And because you're a daddy's girl, right? And you grow up and you have that same mentality as you grow up as in life. Yes. And you are a ride or die for the man in the house. So I think daddy's girls have the utmost respect for men because you have the strong man in your life that you respect. So you don't have to teach a daddy's girl how to respect a man. I think we have it. We know because we have the utmost respect for I mean, I'm sure it's the same way for mama's boys too, because you have so much respect for your mother. You wouldn't think of disrespecting a woman, right? So I think those are two pros, but I'm going to read. Oh, what do you mean it gets hard sometimes? What do you mean? I want to hear. Do tell.
Tongue,
Yeah, sometimes we can.
Well, and I agree with you to that point. Like, you can tell the difference of a man who's had his mother in his life and a man who hasn't. Because a man who hasn't had his mother in his life will say all kind of craziness to you. And I've said to men, so would you want that said to your mother or your daughter? And when I say that, they stop and they think and they're like, oh, that was a little outline. Right. Yeah, It was.
Yes, and I said we would talk about it a little later, but since you brought that up, I find that men who have horrible relationship with their mother, I go the opposite way because I've been in a relationship where he had no respect for his mother, and because that's your first love, as a little boy, this is your first love, your mom. As a little girl, that's your first love, your dad. When that relationship is tumultuous, it can, I'm not saying for everybody, but it can manifest in relationships. You have no respect for your first love, it's really hard to respect somebody else. Yeah. Or if you can't, most people I put my dad on a pedestal, you might put your mom on a pedestal. If you don't put them there, then this woman can never be there. It's like, how can I respect you more than I do my mom? So I found that for me, when I hear I hate my mama, I'm gonna go the other way. That's scary. That is scary to me. I mean, and some moms don't deserve respect. Now, I know that there are some bad moms and there's some bad dads. Okay, so I'm not saying that they're not, but I just mean that sometimes it can cause you to manifest some issues with the opposite sex when you have had that situation. All right, so Cedric said that pros and cons, daddies will always. This is my question of what are the pros and cons of dating a daddy's girl. And Cedric said the daddy will always be the most special man in her life. Shonda says that she always says, yeah, my daddy said. Ricardo says, I don't know, I've never dated a woman with her dad in her life, which a lot of us thought was interesting. Yeah.
right now. So she knows that. Like, we don't talk every day. But at the drop of a dime, if she needed me, I'm there.
Got it.
And the way I look at it, you know, I don't look at her as a deterrent for most women, because if you even get to the point where you meet her, you good. And you know what I'm saying, she know that, and you know that. Now don't mess up, because she gonna turn right around and she might say it in your face. What happened to that other girl?
Oh, she will?
Oh,
Do you think she knows what she's
done
doing
it.
when she does
Oh,
that?
she's done it.
Oh, boy.
She's done it. So, yeah, she don't. Nobody can like mess with me like that.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody can mess with me like that.
Randolph, does your mom pull back a little bit when you're in a relationship?
I can't say she's ever had to, you know, be in the forefront. You know, she's a very non-judgmental woman, so she doesn't cast judgment. She's always supported all three of us. So I think I kind of call on her.
Oh, you're the one.
I call on her. Yes. Yeah.
All right, so, okay, back to some of the comments. Brian Gardner says, one pro is she already knows how to respect a good man. And one con is you have to actually be a good man, which I don't think is a con. But it's a con for men who aren't good. But because we know what a good man is, we know what a good man is not. Right? So it's like, okay, I know this isn't lining up because I know what a good man is. All right, so I'm gonna also read what some of the people said. What do you think are some pros and cons of being a mama's boy? What are some pros and cons of being a mama's boy? Randolph, Dante, ladies, y'all can chime in too.
I would think he has a level of sensitivity.
Yes.
Yeah, good one. Very good. You're right. Absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think too that when a man is close to his mom, to your point, he can pick up on emotions.
Right.
Absolutely.
And they're
Absolutely.
typically very intuitive. I know my son he can notice any change I make. If I get my eyebrows arched and walk in the door, he goes, "Mom, you got your eyebrows arched," because our relationship is so close. If I change my nails, if anything changes, he sees it.
Right.
And I'm like, ooh, that's gonna be a good quality for his
Yes.
wife, because a lot of men, no offense, brothers, don't notice little things like that. They don't. And it's like you change something and they're just, you have to say, did you notice that?
Yeah.
Did you notice this has changed? They don't see that. So I like that quality. And I tell him, I'm like, that's going to be good. Your wife is going to really like that you pay attention.
Yeah.
So then the con to that, what about the guys that do pay attention?
I'm saying that's great.
And then you have
I was gonna say that too. That's a con also.
who are not able to receive it.
Yeah, that's a con also.
Give me an example.
If he always commenting on your nails done.
I was just talking about, you know, I was just talking about him on my show, like a situation where, you know, you have some boys that are coddled by women, and if they're only around women at a certain point in time in their life, that's what they pick up. So it ain't necessarily, you know what I'm saying, the most feminine aspects of, you know, how they act, but it's certain things that most men won't do that, you know, you can tell that this person been around women.
But I think there are pros and cons, and
It's a pro and a con.
They're
It's a pro and a
extremes,
con.
right? Because to your point, Erica, a man who's always, it's time to get your nails done.
Right.
You got a little chip right there. I don't want that.
Right.
That's a
Yeah,
little
back
too
up.
much. Back up. You know,
Right.
that's a little too
Right.
much. But you do want them to notice. Oh, actually, you just came from the hair salon. You got your hair done. You want them to notice that.
You see, I'm over here laughing though.
Why are you laughing?
That's not too much.
So you are the type to
That's-
recognize.
Pay attention.
That's clearly not too
Not
much.
too much. No.
I hate when people take pictures and post them. They know they need to fill in.
My nails.
And I'm never.
No, they didn't.
I'm not that.
No, they need to fill
I'm
in.
not that person. No, I'm not
Crop,
that person.
crop your finger out.
I'm not that person.
Because the one thing that I'm gonna say is that a woman is a representative of me. So
Right.
that's representative of me. That make it look like I ain't taking care of you.
Ooh, is that how it is?
That's what it make it look like. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know that's my upbringing or whatever, but that's
how
what
you
it
feel.
looks like.
Right.
Right.
I'm that same way, and I told my man, do not ever. Let me tell you something. If you decide to propose, you make sure my nails done. Give me a hint. Be like, baby, go get your nails done.
Right.
When I see those pictures of those ladies and their nails, and they look at my ring, all I'm looking at is the nail. Like, what is going on, ma'am? So I've already told him, make sure I'm straight. But I keep a regiment going.
We like to let you know that we are in tune. It's just kind of our way of saying we are paying attention.
I like it. I think that comes from you being I think that does come from you being close to your mom. Yes,
absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
I find that men who didn't have that, they don't that sensitive side that
Right,
they don't
right.
know to look for those types of
Right.
things. You understand the language to speak to a woman because you know what your mom would respond to. I had my little cousin growing up. He would go outside and bring little flowers, pick flowers from the yard and bring it to his mom. Right, so that kind of grooming and how her surprise with a little wildflower. She was like, "Oh, thank you." That grooming is encouraging him. So this is what you do. Then he becomes an adult like Dante, bringing flowers to a woman. So it's like things like that I think are pros. They're benefits to having a mother who is nurturing, who is around you, who is encouraging you of yes, this is the behavior that you want to do.
That's right,
You want to
that's right.
continue.
That's true. My son, I had a stern conversation with him today. And as he was leaving school with his dad, he was walking down the hallway. He was like, "Mama." He was like, "Bye." And I was like, "Bye." And he blew me a kiss back, like, right on time.
Yeah.
So,
How old is he?
9.
Yeah.
So I hope I'm not raising a mom.
No. I think it's great. My son's in military school. He calls me every night, and he'll tell his roommate like, "Hold on, I'm talking to my mom." Like he makes it clear, like, yes, this is our time, and I respect that.
So it's interesting because I'm thinking back on my past relationships, and I dated a mama's boy, but none of this stuff was ever present.
Okay, give me an
It
example.
wasn't that whole, "Oh, I see you having on your nails done. Go get your nails done." It wasn't like flowers. Like I would buy my own flowers and sit them on the table, and then he'd be like, "Oh, I guess I need to go get flowers."
Oh, I don't know if he was a bona fide mama's boy because all the cons I just told you about the mama's boy I dated. Our first date, he showed up to my house with groceries in hand. He was like, "Shay, I know you're a single mom." "Yes, ma'am." That's how we got together because he showed up. He showed up to my house with groceries. Who does that? I was
Shay,
like,
you got fed.
he came with bread, milk, cheese, eggs, butter. Those are the basics. Those are the basics. And what woman wouldn't appreciate that? But certainly a single mom is going to appreciate that. But I think it's because he grew up with one that he knew what to do. Like, okay, she would like this. And it would be nothing for him to say, here's money on, how much is Georgia Power? Here's money on that. So he would just anticipate. I never had to ask. I think that was a contributing factor that he was raised by his mom. So I don't know. Why do you think he was a mama's boy?
Based on conversations that we had, he was military, and every time he had leave, he was at home with his mom and his grandma.
Either that or he's lame and don't have no friends. I don't know.
The interesting fact is, all of that for me was, right before we broke up, his mom calls one weekend and she says, "Are you enjoying my son?" I said,
What?
"Wait, hold on."
Oh, Lord.
She says, I said, "Oh, yeah, he's here for the weekend." She said, "Well, don't let him overstay his welcome." And it took me a while to get what she meant because she wasn't talking about for the weekend. She was talking long term.
Don't let him overstay his welcome.
Like he a
I had
leech.
2 mothers do
What
that
in
to
the
me.
world? She said, "Are you enjoying my son?"
Yeah,
See,
she
I
was
think
there for the weekend, but she knew. Like I feel like she knew that we weren't gonna
make it.
make it.
That's very interesting.
The one
I had
thing,
that happen twice.
the one thing about a mother, especially, is they know their son.
And they know what you need.
They not need. I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say they know.
She might
they
not know what
we
you
need.
want, but she know what
But
you need. I think she know what you need.
I don't think I'm not gonna say she know what we need, but she knows her child.
Right.
Who he is.
Right.
She knows more than anybody, maybe better than himself,
Yeah.
who he is.
No, that's true.
So a lot of times for a man, if something happens, the mother is the least surprised
Yeah, I knew it.
if something
Yeah,
happens.
they be like, I knew she wasn't the one.
She said, "I love my son. He is my son, but he means you no good." She was like,
What?
Leave him alone."
She said he means you no good.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
And that's to his point.
Yeah.
A mother knows her child.
Mother knows her child.
And she
Yeah.
knew That's a child. She loved him to death, but she was like, he dirty. He a dirty.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing.
No, I don't think it's bad.
that's
I wouldn't have
not
done it that
bad.
way because I'm gonna have loyalty to my son.
Yeah.
I already
But-
see it. I know I'm gonna be loyal to him, but I might convince him like, leave that little girl alone.
Right.
Yeah.
That's probably what you
Too,
see
like,
though.
I'm not telling
Right,
nobody.
that's probably what his mom saw. You know, right?
Yeah, I'm
Not
yeah.
saying not calling you a bad girl.
Not saying, not saying, you know, saying. I don't think my mom ever had to go to that extent, but I know, you know, other guys and their moms, like their mom is the least surprised at something
Right,
happened or what's going on as far as their son is concerned.
Because they already know.
They know.
Right. She probably was protecting you.
Oh, yeah. I think
Yeah.
she,
Yeah,
I know
no.
she was.
Yeah.
I know.
Has your mom or dad have you dated somebody and they've ever said that's not gonna work, that's not the one? Have you ever experienced that?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
My mom.
I have.
You
That's
experienced
the.
it.
And
Roundabout way.
I've experienced it, and that was like I said. Growing, she raised us. She, you know, just me and my sister, and she worked a lot. That's where I think I get my work ethic from. She worked all the time, which, you know, we stayed at our grandparents' house a lot. You know, so she worked a lot. So, you know, she. When the one time she did it was the first time I had ever seen her cry, and I was grown.
Oh, Dante.
I was grown. The one time she actually tried to ward me off away from somebody was the first time I ever seen her cry.
She cried about it.
She cried
Did you
about
take
it.
heed?
No,
Oh.
Okay. What was she saying? What was she saying in her tear?
she
Like, what was
just.
she
I
saying?
mean, basically, don't make the mistake I did. Don't make the mistake don't make a mistake that I've made. I'm trying to tell you, don't make a mistake that I've made in life.
Wow. Have you experienced it, Randolph?
No, I won't say to that extent. She'll give her thought though, but not. My mother always had this thing. She said, "I give you enough rope to hang yourself, you know, and pull you back in."
Yeah. My dad. Well, when I told him that I was pregnant with my son's 14. My son's father and I were sitting on his couch. I just graduated from college, like 2-3 months prior, and I said, you know, Daddy, we have something to tell you. And I said, you know, I'm pregnant. He looked at him and he was like, are you gonna be here for my daughter and my grandchild? Straight up. And he, of course, said, yes, sir. He said, well, regardless, this is my baby, and her baby is my baby. And I'm going to be here. So whether you here or not, I'm going to be here. And he has been. And to this day, I pick up the phone and call him. He's there. But he knew he wasn't going to be there.
Right.
And that's what I told you. He'll step in if he feels like you slacking. If he feels like you slacking, he's not going to say anything, but he'll just step in a little bit more, which I respect. Because he's not the type to ever, he's not going to call anybody and be like, what you doing? What you doing to my daughter?
Right.
My dad is the type, you don't call him unless you need him as it relates to your relationship. If you call him and say, this person's hurting me, it's on and popping.
Right. When you say
You know what I'm
what
saying?
you do, don't pop
Yes,
off.
yes.
Right. Right.
So I don't call him. I don't make
Yes,
no,
that's
you know,
right.
boy who cried wolf calls, because I already
Right.
know it's going down. All right, let me read some of the comments from our Facebook friends. All right, so Ty Walker says, it's always comforting when a man can understand and put that understanding into action. And catch up on y'all. Okay, so then Dawn said, I wasn't a daddy's girl. However, my dad took care of everything when there was a need in our family. It was taken care of and quickly. So when I married a mama's boy on top of it, it was extremely hard to deal with someone who didn't have an urgency to take care of us. That's interesting. Bianca said, maybe I need a mama's boy. Where y'all at? Marcus Banks says, yes, I'm a mama's boy. I love my mom. Ken said, I know the feeling. Kiva said, Ken, the funny thing is, she's talking about her mom. Her mom has her niece and nephew, but her son is clearly her favorite. So Kiva said her mom favors her son. Ryan's talking about the Falcons playing tonight. What you talking about, Ryan? Right. So, yeah. So any other examples y'all have of dating a mama's boy? Now, I'm going to turn the tables a little bit and talk about dating people who are not mama's boys and daddy's girls, because I think that's a difference too. So people who, not just they're not mama's boys or daddy's girls, but they have issues with the parent of the opposite sex. Have you ever dated somebody who did not have a good relationship with his mom, or did not have a good relationship with her dad?
I dated a guy who didn't know who his mom was. And so, but he tried to overcompensate that by being extra attentive.
Okay.
And extra sensitive. It was annoying. But, because I was like, well, that's not necessarily, you don't have to do all of this, but it's great, but you don't have to do all this. But he didn't have any relationship with his mom, or didn't know who she was, or anything like that.
Did you think he had mommy issues?
No, I don't know what mommy issues are, but I do recognize daddy issues.
Let me give you an example, because I've dated this guy. Need to be the poster child for mommy issues. And so his mom had him when she was a teenager, and then she got on drugs, and his grandmother raised him. But he had mommy issues. Like, he always wanted her to, like, the time that she wasn't there, he longed for it. He longed for that time, and he was very critical of women. Any woman that was in his life, you're never gonna measure up because his mama didn't measure up. Like, she wasn't on point, so you can't be on point. So he was ultra critical, critiquing everything. He was the type.
Sense of reality.
He just had mommy issues. He didn't trust. He had trust issues because of what happened in his upbringing. He had lots of trust issues. So I could be at dinner and he's like, "Who you with? Send me a picture." Like, it was crazy. Yeah. So I can say, I've definitely dated somebody with mommy issues, and I think it's problematic. But have you ever dated anybody who had daddy issues, Randolph?
That seems to be the going rate now. Oof.
Most of the ladies have had daddy issues.
Yeah, and that's a reflection of me too. Because of my connection with my mom and of course my dad, it's a strength for me. So I'm looking for that young lady that was missing her dad to take my hand.
You want that?
Because I have that strength.
So you're saying you're looking for a woman who's missing her dad, so you could be that for her?
It's been the dating pattern for me lately.
How is that going for you?
It's not good.
Well, then maybe you should switch that up.
Thank you, Shay.
Maybe you
It's
should.
not good.
Yeah, because
right.
what we don't, we're not looking for. Just like I don't want to be any man's mama.
Right.
You don't want a woman who's looking for you to be her daddy.
Her daddy, that's
Because
correct.
she needs to already be raised. She needs to already be grown when she comes to the table. Because if she's looking to you as daddy, she's undeveloped somewhere. She's undeveloped.
Right.
And that's going to create a codependency. You don't want that. You don't want her to be dependent on you. Oh, I can't move without Randolph. Randolph, can I go here? Randolph, can I do that? You don't want that. You don't want that. You don't want that. You might think you do. You might think you do, but you don't want that, because you're going to be like, she need to get a life. I'm her best friend. I'm her everything. She don't have nobody to talk to.
And you know what? You're right. You're right.
You don't want that. I mean, a woman with male issues, it just necessarily got to be daddy.
So give me, when you say male issues,
you find yourself telling them to go out and find something to do
because they're up under you, attached.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be they're gonna be issues, but just I just have to just be 100.
Be honest, okay.
Yeah. Most men are looking for the second mother.
That's how you see it.
That's how I know it.
You think men are looking? Okay, men, y'all chime in. Dante said men are looking for a second mother.
For the second mother.
In what way? Like,
women are brought into this world more fit to survive than a man. And there's nothing nobody can tell me to change my mind about that. I've known more women to persevere.
Yeah.
Than men. Because they're more equipped.
Maybe.
Therefore, most men, especially if they grew up solely with their mother, that's all they know. That's all they know a woman to be, is somebody that's there for them. So that's what they're looking for secondhand.
Let me marinate on that, Dante, because
me personally, in a nurturing way, most men need to be nurtured.
Oh yeah. That's
we're
our
not,
role.
we're not looking
Well,
for.
that's what I'm
we're
saying.
not-
but
we're
we
not-
can
but
nurture
the-
you
the-
without being
the-
your mama.
Your mother, right?
Right.
Well, I
that's
mean,
different
we're not.
things.
I mean, you know, figuratively speaking, but that's
want
what
somebody to lay
the
their head
qualities of a mother. The qualities of a mother. That's what
You got
most
choked over
men are looking for.
No, so I can agree with that. So from a perspective of being soft, being a nurturer, being a place that you can keep your secrets, like being a place that's safe for you, being a comfort, yes.
Right.
All of that, yes. But I need you to be grown when you come. Like you're
You
missing.
want him to be grown.
What I mean is, when I say that, I mean like
You want him to be grown.
We need
men
you to
men
lead.
who have mommy issues.
You want him to lead.
Let me finish my sentence. Men who have mommy issues, there's something that's undeveloped in them because they didn't have that growing up, and they're seeking that piece, and it causes them to treat you a different way because they're missing something. And the same for women. I mean, we were honestly created to have both parents. Let's just say that. We were created to have both parents by design. I believe we were created to have mom and dad. You don't think so?
No.
I think by nature, by science, by design.
Everybody was created to have a mother.
That's how you feel.
That's what it is.
When you don't have a dad present, be a boy or a girl, there will be problems.
That's what it is. That's because a mother can't do everything.
Right, so that's where the daddy
But
comes in.
Women, like I said, are more equipped to survive
No,
in this
Dante,
world.
that's the
I don't
problem
care
with our family
in
right
what
now.
species.
That's the
what
problem.
species?
The
I
problem
mean,
is there's only
even
a mother.
even in the wild, you're gonna have a female
jungle.
animal survive before a male.
That's because of what has happened. We can go back to Jim Crow. We can go back to slavery. That's because of what's happened. But by
why
design,
do you think men were so easy to break? Because we wasn't put like that.
I don't believe that. Nope.
We weren't put like that.
I don't believe
You
that.
guys are the strength.
You are the strength. You're the backbone. You're the foundation.
No,
We
Y'all-
need
y'all
you.
women make
Yes.
us. Women
Yes.
make us that.
No, you are that.
Women make us that.
You
No
are
man comes into this world without a mother.
No, and nobody comes
but
here
women,
without a
but that's
man.
what
mother
I'm saying.
or a father.
Women,
We can't deliver, but we can't
I
impregnate
guarantee
ourselves.
you, it's more people don't know who their father is than their mother.
That's what has happened
That's a
by
society.
society, but that's not by design. I think that's an ailment. That's a problem with society. But that's
It's
not.
by design now. It might have been installed like that, but it's by design now.
Well, we're going to have to agree to disagree. I think that there is definitely a role for the father and a role for the mother, and I think when
There's a
when
role, but the father has to actually play it. The mother
Correct.
gonna be most mothers gonna be a mother regardless.
not
The father-
necessarily.
the
No,
father- I
not
said
necessarily.
most. I didn't say
There's
all.
like this is the example I gave you.
I
There are a
didn't say
lot of
all.
moms who
I
abandon their
said most.
responsibility. The grandmother's raising the children, or the children are scattered all around to various people because she out there wilding and partying. That happens all the time. But when I say by design, I mean there are things that we get, be it male or female, from having both parents. If you, as a little girl, when you have a father, you're learning qualities. When you have a mother, you're learning qualities. As a little boy, when you have a mother, you're learning qualities from her. When you have a father, you're learning qualities from him. So whenever, in any home, whenever there's a home without a mother and a father, there is some level of dysfunction for that person because they're missing a piece. You're missing the emotion. You're missing the strength. You're missing the part of the pie. And that's having both of them makes us balanced. And now some people have both parents and their parents are crazy. I'm not saying that, just having them there. Yeah. No, you can still have some dysfunction with both parents. You can have an alcoholic parent. You can have a drug addicted parent. You can have anything. He could be a child molester. It could be anything. There's some dysfunction, obviously, that can still come from having both parents. But what I'm talking about here with mommy issues and daddy issues, across the board. If a man doesn't have one or the other, there's something. If a woman doesn't have one or the other, there's something. We have problems when we don't have
I don't want you to
both.
get me wrong. When I say it, I mean I really do believe that women are stronger than men, and it's like that. That's just what it is.
Why do you feel like that?
I don't know. Maybe I grew up around strong women.
Do you think that's always been the case, or do you think women have just had to be strong
feel
because
like-
the man wasn't there?
Yeah, I feel like that's always been the case. But I have a daughter. She's a daddy's girl. I know most of the things that she is right now. She's 12. Most of the things she is right now is from me. Not taking anything away from her. She has a great mother, but my daughter is a daddy's girl. So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I know that when both parents aren't there, there's something missing.
Definitely. There's something missing.
What I'm saying is they can get more from their mother.
That's what you think. I don't agree, but
So a
that you
son
can have
be
your
raised-
opinion. I don't agree.
Can get male strength from a mother. Like
No.
No, you can't get male strength, but you
Okay,
can
right.
you can get strength. If that wasn't possible, men wouldn't get their strength from women also.
I think what you see in society is a byproduct of something that happened by necessity. It's like he's not here, so I'm having to step up. But we don't want to be in that role. Like you said earlier, as soon as somebody comes in, I can say from having been a single parent, as soon as my man came into my life and I can say, okay, I can relinquish these things, step in and do them. I was happy to do so because I don't even like discipline in my child. That's not even. I'm the nurturer. I don't want to be yelling. I don't want to be disciplined. I want you to be the bad guy. Let me be the good guy. So I was totally happy to relinquish those things. For example, I do think, and I'll stand by it, I think we need both parents. I think we need a mama and a daddy, and I think we learn good things from both of them. I think that makes us balanced. Like how you were describing having had both your parents, you said you got your masculinity from your dad. You got your emotions, your sensitivity from your mom. That's how we learn. That's how we're socialized. And that's how I learned how to treat a man watching my mom treat my dad, how she showed respect to him, how we didn't eat until my dad walked in the door. So it was everybody's upstairs doing everything. Okay, my dad walked in the door, y'all come down and eat. It was he is the head of household. She fixed his plate first. Like I grew up watching those things being modeled. So it's second nature for me to do it, right? Because I saw it. I saw my mom and dad. They showed me how does this work? How do you work together? I saw my mom doing the household things and my dad doing the outside things. You learn what are the rules that we play by having both parents. Now, when you don't have that and you just have one, you're confused. You think the woman does it all or the daddy does it all, but really that's not how it works. So I think no, she doesn't want to. And he doesn't want to. Mr. Mom doesn't want to either. I met men who are like, I don't want to do all of this. I don't want to cook and comb hair and clean up. I don't want to do it all. And they're waiting for somebody to jump in and take some of that burden too. So I do think we benefit by having both parents for sure. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna go back to our comments because we've got several and I haven't been keeping up with them. Sorry, y'all. Just trying to multitask here. So, and it also, you can feel free to text us or call in at 478-569-6474 if you wanted to join in on our conversation. You can also make sure you have downloaded the Instinct Radio app to follow us. All right, so Tennille said, I had a mama's boy break my heart. He lost his father at a young age and didn't know how to emotionally support others or fully step into his role as a man. And that goes back to my point. He didn't have that father to show him his role of what to do. All right, Cassandra says, I need a man who can take care of things without wanting mom's approval. Amen. Oh God, yeah, because like you said in those examples, I mean, the mom has to know her boundaries, and I wish there was a class for moms, of boys, but you got to know your boundary. You do not call her and talk about their sex life, ever, ever, ever. You do not ask her, for example, my ex, his mom would say, so he said, you just go out to eat every day. Do you know how to cook? Well, I'm going to send you some food. I don't cook. I know you cook. You cook. Yeah. I don't cook. So she was sending me food and recipes to cook for her son. Now, he like this, like that, and he like this. I was like, this is not going to work. I'm not domestic. This is not going to work. So you have to.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It might not be anything wrong with it, but I'm not the woman for it.
There's nothing wrong
with it for the right woman, but I'm not the woman for it.
She had to try your cooking skill.
There's nothing wrong with that.
You're not.
She was trying you.
It's not her responsibility to interview me to see if I met up. If he keep coming over here, so something he like over here, don't be asking.
It ain't my macaroni and cheese.
I ain't cooking nothing. So you don't ask him, you don't be interviewing me to see if I qualify for him. Girl, sit down.
She wants you to cook a meal. She want to come get a meal from you too.
I'ma order it. I can order in like a pro. Trust. But yeah, no, I think we need boundaries, and daddies can be messy too. There are some daddies who can overstep their boundaries as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Have you all ever experienced that of your dad overstepping his
Not
boundaries?
my dad.
Mhm.
The guy I dated, his dad overstepped his boundaries and pretty much was like, I don't like her.
A daddy?
For no apparent reason at all. He didn't like me. But
There was a
I
reason.
later found out he had issues with his dad because his dad cheated on his mom, and so he had issues with that. And then that rolled over into him, and he was like, I don't think I could ever be with you and not be faithful. Because he was scared he was going to repeat the cycle that his dad started.
Mm-hmm.
They need therapy. The whole family needs therapy.
You've already assessed that?
Yes, y'all all need therapy. Family therapy together, honey. All y'all.
Totally different family.
Oh Lord, y'all need to all sit down and have therapy.
He's no longer,
I'm glad he's not in the picture. Okay, April said, Shay, I teach middle school age children, and I see what happens when parents are missing from the home. I'm a daddy's girl. My dad has been deceased for almost 22 years. I still need him. I'm independent because of how close we were. I have to remind myself of the role of a man. It has turned off some men. And I think, contrary to popular belief, I do think that daddy's girls are independent. I know that people have this mentality that we're like waiting on daddy to do everything, but I think that they raise us, maybe because of what Dante was saying, because they know what's coming, they raise us to be independent. My dad was always like, you go get, this is how you make your money. You go to school, you make sure you have money in your pocket. Like, don't depend on anybody to take care of you.
Not
And
just
I think-
anybody. Don't depend on a man. We know men.
Exactly. You know
You know what I'm
so-
saying? We know most of us don't mean any good at some point. Not all of us. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
We know most of us don't mean any good because we know how we were. We were that
Exactly.
age. We were this, that, and other. So we're going to do everything we can to protect you from that. It ain't got to be something overbearing, but it can be a lesson learned
Yep.
in a lot of things. Like,
Yeah.
just coming up, I remember not just me, but my grandfather, my daughter never saw me dressed inappropriately. And when I say that, I mean pants sagging. She never saw my underwear. She never, you know what I'm saying? So when she did, she knew to where she's 6 years old in the mall, like, hey, pull your pants up, telling these strangers, like, because she knew better. That was the example that she had.
Of
So
what
at this
not to
point,
do.
it still is like, you're not going to respect anybody that doesn't respect themselves.
Right.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
period.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And I think women can do that too, because I know that women can be manipulative. Ladies, I'm just being honest. We can be manipulative. And I tell my son that, like, okay, listen, this is a little game little girls play. So, I think you prepare. And if you go to the Bible, when we like to quote Proverbs 31, but that's a mother talking to her son. So, and when you go to Proverbs 31, you have a mother talking. She says, listen, my son, Lemuel, this is how you find a good woman. This is how you know when you've met a virtuous woman. She's giving her son wisdom of how do you find a virtuous woman. And that's what we do too, because we know women, and we'll be able to say, no, don't mess with nobody like that. Or she
females.
only want him and his females.
Oh,
You will
females
be
and
able to
women.
say, no, she only wants you for your money, or she's, she doesn't mean you any good. We can tell because we know what those women are. And I
Or
think daddies
have
do
been
the
that
same.
woman.
Huh? I've not been that
Oh,
woman.
no.
I've not been.
No.
No, nope. And my exes on my Facebook friends, they chime in. They'll tell you I ain't that woman.
A woman knows because they may have been that woman. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, that's all you saying. But I'm gonna tell you when you have this. I'm gonna go back to being a daddy's girl. I'm gonna stand by that. I think you treat men differently when you are a daddy's girl. I think you just live by a different code. I think because I'm gonna tell you. I think that these examples that you have of these females who've done dirty things. I bet you their daddy wasn't in their lives and they didn't have that type of respect. I'm gonna tell you because I respect a man too much to be trifling, to be running around. I just do. I have a lot of respect for a man. You can
Especially when you see those positive traits that you've seen in your father, you
You'll
will not
never do
take
that.
advantage of that or disrespect that because you've seen that great
Exactly.
example.
And a man who didn't have those traits, you're not even going to give him the time of day
Right.
anyway because you already know what to look for. It's like, okay, this is an example of what a man is.
Right.
You don't cut it, so keep it moving. You're not even going to entertain. So I believe we could all probably step back and go, anybody who has been horrendous probably didn't have a good relationship with that opposite sex parent. I think from my experience, it's true.
See, I'm looking at the same. It could be the same sex parent too.
Okay, give me an
Because
example.
Most women that have a bad relationship with their mother, that's somebody you can't deal with at all.
Yeah, 'cause
I,
she
me
didn't have a
personally,
good example of a female.
I'm not dealing with it. I can't deal with that at all. Just like most women, they see a man disrespect their mother, they know what's coming.
Right.
They know what's on the way.
So you're saying a woman who didn't have a good relationship with her mother.
Right.
What is she like? That kind of woman.
That's. I mean, she the most disrespectful person you probably ever run into. You know what I'm saying? Like her moral compass is gonna be way off.
Because she didn't have an example.
Right. Her moral,
Right,
she
right.
not. She don't trust anybody, male or female.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So it's that those are the type of people that you really, you know what I'm saying? But like he was getting ready to say, I think, it's like most men look for that challenge. When we kind of grew up enduring something like that, most men look for that kind of challenge. Most men look for the challenge of a woman that needs help, because we feel like we feel like not fix her, but we feel like we're the ones that can help.
Like a damsel in distress.
Like a captain.
Yeah, you can look
Right.
at it like that. I wouldn't say captain.
Heavy words.
Yeah, I wouldn't say captain, but you know what I'm saying.
That's what you looking for somebody.
No,
to
I
help
wouldn't
so
say
you can feel
captain.
needed.
So she can be independent.
But yeah, most boys that grew up with their mother, that they felt like that they gave them an important role, like you the man of the family, you 10 years old.
Oh, you
the
mean
man of the
okay?
house,
No,
this and
so
that.
we get into
you
something
grew up
else.
like that, and that's what you've been. You've been that strength, or you thought you were that strength, or whatever the case. Then you look for that later on in life.
Okay, I think that's different. So what you described was different from a mama's boy. You're talking about a mother who has given her son head of household responsibilities as a little boy, right? That's not just a mama's boy. He's been head of household as a little boy. I know women who do say, this is the man of the house. This is my man.
And that's damaging.
Calling their son their man.
Well,
He's
no,
my
no,
king.
no,
Yes.
That's not good.
Damaging.
Not
My
quite.
son's Not
Not-
the man of the house.
Right.
He just take out the trash.
That's all you do,
No,
boo.
baby,
I bought all these
that's
groceries. You taking the trash
that's
out.
it.
You
No,
ain't
you're not
no.
the man of the house.
But-
I pay the bills.
I kind of, because I have friends that if there was not a father present, their mother put them around strong men. So that's I'm understanding.
That's not what
a
he
little bit.
said. He's
See,
saying not just
It's not so much the case now. That, you know what I'm saying? It's just not a lot of strong men in the community now.
oh
that
yes
you can-
there are. They're teachers.
It's
They're
not-
coaches.
It's not
they're-
as much as it.
You
Not
gotta
like
put
it
them
used to
in
be.
front of the
I
right
think
people.
Not when we were growing up.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it's
it
like
might
a
be like a
community.
community.
Yeah.
When we were growing up, now you got single parent, all of them next door to each other. That's the neighborhood you in
That's
now.
true.
You
I
know
guess
what
it
I'm saying?
depends
It's
on
just
where
not
you
that.
live.
Yeah,
Maybe it depends on where you live.
It could be geological,
I do
whatever
think-
you want to say. But
Geographical?
That's
Yeah, I do-
geographical.
I do think it depends
could
on
be
where you
that.
live.
It could be
Because in the suburbs, you tend to have more families. You tend to have,
Right,
you know,
a good mix.
yeah. Mhm.
not now.
What
It's
you
not
talking
so
about?
much now.
I'm living right
It's
now.
not so much now. I used to have a lawn service.
Okay.
Okay, most of my customers were single women,
Where? Everywhere?
homeowners, single
All
women,
over?
all over. We did everything from Stone Mountain all the way to South Fulton, from all over. Most neighborhoods are made up of single parent homes, and most of them gonna be single women. Those the ones that's looking for the lawn service, that's not gonna get out there and cut the grass or whatever the case. It's them.
Okay. All right, I'm going to read a couple more comments. Okay.
I think we still got to revisit
Yeah,
that.
because
We
y'all
gotta come
off the
back to-
chain.
We got to come back to that one for a minute, I think.
Oh, somebody said the village isn't as strong as it once was. And I do think that's true,
That's
to
true.
Dante's
That's what you
point.
said just now.
So I
In
didn't,
which
okay.
all the great points I made.
Well, I didn't grow up in
Oh,
a
you.
Yeah.
village like back in the day, like how you're describing. So I see it as, I do see the village, but might be because of, I put my child in a situation where he has a village of
created a
African American. Yes, he has a big village of African American families, successful, professional African American people. That's his village. Might be, I'm in a sorority.
Geographical.
I'm
There you
not
go.
geographical, but
You said it again.
I'm educated, and he's around my friends who are educated. And he's a judge, or he's a doctor, or so he's around. That. So he does see that. But to your point, I'm sure there are other people who don't have that. Who is just a bunch of single moms, right? I'm sure
Right.
that is the case.
Yeah, I'm coming up. I grew up on this side of town, Bankhead. You knew everybody mama.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You knew when somebody's daddy was here because they was gone for the weekend, or You know what I'm saying? They went to the movies, or you know what I'm saying, he'd be back when he get from his dad's house or whatever the case. That was just the case.
Maybe it is.
Because I grew up on the other side of Headland. So, yeah, we was fine.
That was just the case.
You grew up back, and that was back when that area was very nice. It was lots of families.
Absolutely.
Over in the Greenbrier area.
It meant something to stay over there in that area.
Yeah.
Right, and it was a total difference.
Absolutely.
It's not so much today. You can't tell it. Just you lump it all together. But back in the day, it was a very different. Families
We
lived
had
over there.
neighborhoods.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice neighborhoods.
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
much so.
I think so. It does matter. The area, the neighborhood. To your point.
Well, I think it matters more so than the neighborhood, because when I grew up, it was more of a sense of community. It was, if I got in trouble, somebody down the street saw me, I got in trouble with them, and then you got in trouble with.
Now I heard my mama talk about that, but you felt that as a child too.
Yeah.
I didn't go through that. I didn't.
Well, I grew up
No.
in Alabama.
Oh, maybe it's because it's Alabama.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
So wait a minute. So
So it's a little different.
Okay.
It's a little different.
So the mom's neighbor didn't bust your butt?
No.
What?
Oh, yeah, no,
No,
that
we
happened
didn't
with
get
It
me.
didn't have to be a wood.
Yeah.
Well,
You're from the country.
everybody
Brando.
knew. All the neighbors knew.
Right, all the neighbors knew, but that sense
Right.
of community isn't there.
Man, I went
All
over
the
there.
neighbors knew. Now we don't tell our neighbors nothing.
We don't.
But that's how I grew up. I don't even know my neighbors'
All the
names.
neighbors, right?
I didn't
All
know
the
them
neighbors knew.
at all.
Yeah, I knew all my
We
neighbors
went over there and got
around me,
knocked
and if
down.
They saw me
No.
somewhere doing something I didn't have any business doing. They chastised me, and then when I got home, I got in trouble again.
I
That's
never
right.
experienced it, but I hear my mom talk about that time.
Yeah.
She does. She talks about how the whole neighborhood can whip you before you get home.
And
I
then you
never
got in trouble
experienced
when you
that.
got home again, yes.
That's interesting.
But that sense of community isn't there anymore.
It's
And I was
not.
talking to a friend of mine who lives outside of my subdivision, and he's like, I want that sense of community. So,
Mhm.
like, I'm on the list to pick up his child from daycare.
Oh,
I get permission, like, if he does something out of pocket, he was like, you spank him, and then he gonna get in trouble with me too. Like, he's trying to build
Oh,
back that
that's
sense
sweet.
of community.
Yeah.
That sense
Yeah.
of community isn't there anymore. for
yeah.
us.
You have to create it. Okay, so my son went to an African American private school, and that was our little village. And all of the parents would check the children, and we would all watch out for each other. So we created our little village, our little community. But I hear your point that we don't live. A lot of times we don't even live in all black neighborhoods, so we don't live in those
Right.
situations where you
Right.
can even create that. And I'm not saying, because I know we have friends who are not black. I'm not saying that this doesn't happen in other races. I don't know what happens with them, with their communities. I just know in our community we tend to be more family oriented. Okay, so Mumtana said, my dad gave me great advice about men. April said, I had a gash in my tire twice, came from debris on the road. The man I was dating says it would be the next day before he could help me change it. I changed it myself and showed my girls how to change it. He stopped speaking to me for a week. He said I overstepped my boundaries, made him feel helpless. My dad taught all of us how to do it. I needed it changed, so I changed it. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, he shouldn't. If he can't get to you, well, he wants you to sit tight till he
Right.
get
I
there.
have to say that. I have to agree. Yeah.
You agreed that she
No.
overstepped her
No,
boundaries?
she didn't.
Okay,
No, she didn't. No.
that's a bit much.
Right.
First of all, I'm gonna call you. If you can't come, I'm gonna call AAA.
Right.
It's as simple as that.
And then I'm calling my dad.
Well, you know, if my dad, if I, you know,
So he'll know what happened.
yeah, my dad will pretty much say, well, you need to go and take that, because he's a mechanic, right? So he's gonna tell me what I need to do.
Just so he'll know.
Yes.
It's fixed.
So?
What does it matter if he knew or not?
You gotta tell your dad about any car trouble you have. You gotta tell your
Any
dad.
trouble you have.
You gotta tell your daddy.
The air conditioner was leaking in my house.
I
The
pay
first
for
thing
the
I did was
car.
call
What you
my
mean you
dad.
got to tell
This is
him?
we call our dad. I know. I tell my dad. I heard a little noise. I took it into the dealership. They fixed it, but this is what it was. And then he'll say, "Well, how much did they charge?"
And
No,
what did
that's
they
too
say?
much.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's why most men won't measure up right there.
That's not true. I'm not looking for him to. I
That's
need
why.
him to take his role.
Exactly. You're not looking for a man to be a man. That's what you just said.
No, that's not what we said.
That is what
No,
you just
sir.
said.
I'm not looking for him to be my daddy.
No.
No, you're
I
not
need
looking
him
for
to
a man to
take
be a
his
man. You
role
said the
as a
role.
man.
You said the role, and then you said a man.
No. No.
Yeah, that's what you said.
I think you are truly missing it, Dante.
No, I'm not. You ain't got to tell him that the car the tire went flat.
That's what we do.
No.
Do you tell your mama? I'm sure you call your mama and say,
No,
Mom,
I
I wasn't
don't.
feeling well
I burned
today.
that rice
Trust
up
me, I
today. How you
don't.
cook it?
You know I hurt my back last week.
You
She don't
didn't
know
tell your
nothing
mom?
about it.
Okay, I
why,
don't know.
Why worry her?
I don't know.
What Dante? They are
Why worry
They are
her?
daddy's girls. They say they call daddy. Now this is the problem that I would have if you calling daddy before you call me or I didn't get to it.
Don't call him after you call me. If
So,
you call
okay,
me
to
and the
your
situation is taken care of,
I don't need no validation.
To your point,
No.
If
Randolph,
you calling daddy and you excited that I got to it, yeah, you know.
but give you an opportunity.
No,
to
that's
get to
still
it.
An opportunity
validation.
to get to it.
Now, and I agree
That's
with you,
still
Randolph,
validation.
because okay, for example, my ceiling fan stopped working, so I said to my man, "Can you change the ceiling fan?" He was like, "Well, you're gonna need to rewire it." My dad's an electrician, so he was like, "You might want to call your dad." That's out of his scope,
Right,
of professionalism, of expertise. So
That's
I called my
one
dad.
thing.
Huh?
That's one thing.
That's one thing. So I called my dad and he came, but I talked to him first to see, can you do it? Oh, you can't do it? Okay, now I'm gonna call my dad,
Right.
But if I had just called my dad and he was like, oh, why you call him? You didn't even ask me if I could do it. You have to respect, those boundaries.
So I'm
and
trying
my
to-
dad will ask too, did you ask him first? You know.
'cause he don't want to step on the
Exactly.
toes. Because we had a situation when I was married. We had a situation where a pipe burst. And I see all this water coming out, and he's like slipping on the floor.
Oh, Lord.
And I'm like, okay. So I went upstairs and I called my dad, and I was like, Dad, can you call him to see if he need any help? But don't tell him that you talked to me. So my dad found a way to call, but the water's still spewing in the kitchen. So my dad found a way to call and say, hey, how you doing? Is everything okay around there? And he told him the truth. And so it worked out because my dad helped him.
But he didn't know
but
you had
not
called.
me.
Right. Now it's a delicate balance. You do
It
have to
was.
walk that
That's
fine line.
right. And you don't want to step on your mate's toes.
Right.
I'm trying to understand still what Dante's saying. Dante's saying just don't call, period. Is that what
No,
you're
I'm
saying?
not saying don't call, period.
Don't call.
But if the situation is taken care of,
We don't need to call.
there's no need for him for validation. It's like,
I
hey,
wouldn't-
I had a flat tire
I wouldn't
today,
call it validation.
but he took care of it.
Oh, we just call
Then
it
what?
shit. It's just
Maybe that's just
Okay.
the
it just
daily
keeps the
check-in.
relationship going.
Yeah.
It's just
Because daddy's got to feel needed
they
too.
do like to feel needed. My dad is always on the ready, like, what you need me to do? What you need me to
Right.
do? They want to feel needed, so to keep that relationship going, you have to do that.
I had to be honest. I want
That's
my
when you
daughters.
supposed to- that's
I
when
want
you
my
supposed to let
daughters
them go.
calling me.
Yeah, you want them to call.
That's when
Yeah.
you're supposed to let him go.
No, they're not gonna let you go ever.
You're
And
not
even-
gonna
You're supposed to let him go.
And even when they give you away at the wedding,
You're supposed to let
even when
them
they
go.
give you away,
Yes.
you ain't going
No.
nowhere.
You-
So when your daughter gets
You
of
call
age, I
you
promise
call
gonna
me
be
when
the
you
same
need
way.
me. Don't call me until you had a flat tire and it's fixed.
I had a flat tire, but Dante fixed it, Daddy.
You can't say,
Okay.
I had a flat
Dante a
tire,
good dude.
but it's fixed.
He gonna say, Dante a good dude.
They like to be in the loop. All right, I'm gonna read some of these comments.
No.
Yes.
All right, so Michael Chambers said, I don't think it's necessary that a man needs approval more than agreement. When we agree as a couple, it strengthens the success of accomplishing the goal. I think that's
Absolutely.
very true. So this is in reference to a man needing approval from his wife or from his mother. I think that was what he was speaking on. He was saying it's not so much that you need approval. It's just that you just want to make sure you agree. And, and I think that's true. And, one thing you want to make sure that it's not a fight between the mom and the wife or the dad and the husband. Because those are two different roles. It should not be competition. Because neither one of you can replace the other one. There's nothing you can do to replace your husband or replace your father or to
Oh, they
replace
get
your
replaced
mother.
all the time.
No.
There's only one you can't replace.
Your mother.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
That's what I
He's
said.
saying
But wives get replaced all the
Oh,
time.
no. I said you can't replace the father or the mother.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
No.
You're
And-
correct, Shay.
Yeah. Dante is a mess, Lord Jesus. Give me strength, Jesus. All right, so
From your father or your mother.
you can't replace your parents, and that's
From the
why
Holy Father.
that's why we were saying you're not looking for your mate to be your mother or to be your father because you already have that role. And even if that person
But honestly, like I said, I have to keep it 100. Honestly, most men are.
you're looking for
They
a
may
mother.
not admit it. Most men are.
Do you date women who look like your mother?
No.
I
I
was
don't know
gonna
if
say,
I
that's
look as good as my mom.
Well, do you date women that look something? Because I've seen guys do that. They've chosen a woman that looks very similar to their mom.
No.
You've never done that. Have you ever dated a woman who looked like?
My mom, my complexion, and
And you like chocolate women? I know. Anyway. All right, Erica, he might move up on you.
know.
But
I know. It's just flowing over here.
right. She got some chocolate flowing. No, but back to that point, I also know women that choose men that definitely resemble their fathers.
something wrong with that.
I don't.
I probably do. Well, kind of.
No.
Kind of. I probably do.
Something wrong with that.
I don't date men who look like my dad, but I like chocolate men like my dad. maybe. So that's
I
probably.
don't have a
Complexion
preference.
is,
Don't have it. I think, and one thing I like in my dad is strong. Like he's like a man, like a all 100% man. And I do tend to like, no, my dad ain't got no sugar in his tank. Like my dad don't even sip out of straws. Like my dad is straight
Yeah,
up.
mine either.
No man
Like,
does.
A lot of men do.
No,
A lot
they
of men
don't.
do.
You better look at them again.
A lot of men do, but my dad
So
is
if you
like.
get a drink from McDonald's, you're gonna take the top off and just drink out the cup. You're not gonna drink the straw.
That's
A lot
different.
of men do. My daddy does not
That-
drink out of a
now-
straw.
Now that's
No,
different.
he
If I'm
drink the cup.
driving,
He drink
I
the
don't
cup.
want it to mess my car up. So I'm a
Now you drink out the
sometimes.
Sometimes you suck on a straw.
My daddy don't like.
Sometimes.
My daddy doesn't like the way that looks. He think it look a little soft. So
But
he
it's
don't
not. It's not the little black one though.
Not the little black.
It ain't the little black one
It
though.
ain't the one where you get your liquor.
No,
So-
I can mix it myself. I don't need no stirrer.
So my point in saying what I just said was that because my dad is like so masculine, I tend to like real masculine energy. Men have different varying degrees of masculine energy, and some of them are a little on the metrosexual side, and some of them. I like for a man to be all man, like ain't no guessing, ain't no nothing. It's so I tend to choose men like that. I think that happens a lot, though. Honestly, I do think that people tend to choose people that resemble their parents in some way, some quality that you like in that person that you're looking for. Not look like, but there's something about
Yeah, some
them
qualities,
that reminds you.
absolutely.
If I can feel safe with you, like my dad makes me feel safe. Like I know if anything pops off, my dad has got my back. I have to have that with my man. You got to make me feel safe. That's a big quality for me to
See, a
have.
woman had to have the coolest daddy on this earth to compare me to him. Because I'm usually the coolest person in the room.
I never thought to. That's
What?
a whole nother.
What is he talking about?
I'm just saying, if somebody was gonna compare me to their father, they had to be cool.
Okay.
They had to be cool. Everybody ain't got no cool.
Cool
father.
pop.
Yeah, me. I just said me. I'm cool.
No, come on over. All right, so Ayana King said, I'm a daddy's girl, and because of this, I expect men to do certain things like open doors, stand behind me, going up an escalator, and in front of me when going down the escalator, walking next to the street, etc. These were things I took for granted until I had a man that didn't exhibit these behaviors. A lot of men either don't know or don't know how to do these things, and I ain't got time. I do think that we have to be cognizant. We talked about that a little bit. If he didn't have the man in the home, he may not know. Right. But I think we should be open to sharing. To like, okay, you may not know this, but I prefer my doors to be open. Some people don't know. Right. And I think if they're open and you're willing to share, then you can keep it moving.
Yeah, I shared it. It didn't go well.
So you've experienced this?
Yeah.
So tell me about it. What happened?
So the car door thing he did. But it was the going down the stairs and going up the stairs and walking on the side of the street where I was on the inside. Those things he did not know.
He didn't know how to do it.
He didn't know how to do them. So I told him, hey, for future reference, when you are escorting a lady, these are things that you need to make sure that you do.
How did you say it?
Just like that.
That's probably the problem,
Right.
actually. For future reference,
no.
this is
I'm getting ready to cut you off.
right.
Yes,
I'm about to cut you off.
Right.
He got cut off a couple months after
to
that,
make you successful in life, these are the things to do for future reference.
That's a little bit. It's probably the way you said it.
At
Actually,
that point in time, I was a little fed up with him, so it's probably
Right,
why it came out that way.
Right.
yeah,
But
because
if it's somebody that I'm not fed up with and he doesn't know, then it's gonna be a little softer. I do
Yes.
know how to.
So he didn't put you on the inside of this. On the
No.
sidewalk.
I've had that.
And tell me about the stairs.
So when you're going up the stairs, he should be behind you in the
Okay.
event that you fall backwards.
Absolutely, I was about to say.
And then if you're
yeah,
going
there
down the stairs, he should be in front of you to break your fall.
everybody doesn't know that.
See, I don't need nobody
But-
clumsy first
So
and
what I
foremost.
normally do when that
Dante.
occurs, what I normally do is just move myself in the position that I should
Right.
be in.
Right.
So
Yeah.
instead of,
Right.
and
And you don't want to say for future reference. This is how you.
Well,
do
now
it.
again, that situation
really,
situation was on his last leg. So
Really?
at that point, I didn't
it
really
didn't even
care.
matter.
He
Ways
should be
to
wanting
do
to
it.
look at the booty anyway. That's
Yeah, you
Oh,
That's my
I
thing,
mean, you don't want another man. You don't want another man behind your wife going up the stairs.
But some people just don't even think like that.
Yes, they do. All men do. They
You
got
think
I'm
to.
surprised.
I don't
They
think
got
I'm
to. You don't want nobody walking up the stairs behind your wife, seeing that sachet. You don't want that.
Some men don't think
don't want
so
that.
serious
He
about
is
it.
serious.
You know what?
Please
grow
believe
up
Dante is serious.
And you know what I'm saying? We don't even think about it growing up because you follow your mother around the department store. So you're behind her most of the time. So when you're going down, you know what I'm saying, she'll usually put you in front of her to make sure you getting down. The escalator or the stairs or whatever the case.
Yeah,
We
because you're
going
a
up.
little boy.
Right,
Yeah,
we
but I didn't
going
do
up.
it from a perspective of this is what a man should do.
It was protection.
Yeah, it's protection. You're in
Right,
protector
right.
mode, you know.
Seeing you want clumsy.
Okay, so Morgan Marie says that she is a card-carrying member of the Daddy's Girl Club, and she's also a Granddaddy's Girl, too. She said the pros are I know my worth, and I know how to tell a man who's worthy, how to respect him and honor him, and I know that I should receive the same in return. But it's also a con. I know my worth, and I know how to tell a man who's worthy, how to respect him and honor him, and I know that I should receive the same in return. I think that is true. You have a good example of a man, of a father. And back to the way you were talking to this young man, I learned how to talk to a man by watching it being modeled in my home. My mom would talk to my dad sweetly,
Right.
you know, and I'm not the type of woman to get up in my daddy's face, or get up in a man's face. I see women who do that. I tend to think, oh, she didn't have a daddy in the home. Ladies, if I'm wrong, correct me, but that's how I think. Like, she must didn't have a daddy in the home because she didn't have that modeled, how to talk to a man. I think that happens a lot. Probably the females that you've dated, Dante.
The females.
They didn't have...
Not women.
Right. They didn't have an example of how to talk to a man, and vice
They
versa.
did. It was on television.
On TV.
Oh,
and especially if it's reality TV. Now, if they were watching the Cosby Show, or they were watching, something that
Right.
shows it, but if they were watching reality TV, they don't know how to
Yeah.
react.
Claire was so much stronger than Cliff.
She was, but she
Let's
never
be for real.
She never disrespected him. She
Right.
never
She
got up in
didn't.
his face and did that.
She
never,
didn't.
I
you
had to
know.
learn how to soften
She
my tone when
did
talking to a
in the
man.
bedroom.
I really did.
She did in the bedroom. She never accosted him unless they was in the bedroom.
That's when they would have their
That's in-
private talk, and that's
right.
how it should be.
That's
Right.
Because a
Should
lot
have
of
it
women
from the
don't
kids.
learn how to. You don't call your
That's
man
right.
out in public. You
Never.
don't ever put him on Front Street. But those are the kinds of things you learn when you see it modeled. Going back to
right.
having two parents in the household,
Right,
and vice
right,
versa.
right.
Girls learn how they should be treated by watching their fathers treat their mothers. Open doors for them. Pulling back the chair so you can sit down. That's modeled for you, and you grow up expecting that because it's been modeled. So again, I'm a proponent of two-parent households. I know that the majority of our households are not like that, but I don't think that means we should be okay with it.
No,
I think
We
you
should not.
I think you just deal with it because that's your situation, but I do think you should aspire to have both, especially when you're raising children. I think it matters, definitely. All right, so I'm trying to get the rest of our comments, so while I pull those up, while I pull up our comments from our Facebook friends on Mama's Boys and Daddy's Girls. And also, y'all, if you wanna text us, you can at 478-569-6474. We definitely want to hear from you. What are you saying, Daryl? This is some bull. What is he talking about?
I don't know what Daryl's saying, but I think that, just a remark, like I was saying, most men, like you were saying, boundaries. Most men wouldn't set boundaries with their mother.
Yeah, why not?
Because they've never seen a boundary with their mother. They've never seen somebody put their mother in her place. They never, it's just not an example of it. So most men don't know how to, because, we would look at it as kind of like being disrespectful.
To tell her to stay out of your relationship.
We would look at it as kind of being disrespectful.
Do you think you can do it respectfully, though?
I think there's a respectful way to do
There's
it.
probably a respectful way to do it. We just haven't had an example of how to.
Well, no, because even my son will say, like, okay,
certain things or whatever.
for example, I call him Pooh, but he'll say, okay, Mom, when we're around my friends, don't call me Pooh. It's the same conversation.
Right, it's the same
It's just like, okay, Mom, I'm in this relationship. Please do not fill in the blank. Whatever.
You say, okay, Pooh.
It's the same conversation. He's gonna always be my Pooh, you know. But I know, don't call him that in front of his little friends.
Exactly.
They gonna always.
That's something a mother would say. That's something your mother would say.
Exactly.
See, your daddy would say in front of your boys.
No, I'm gonna say your little friends.
Your boys.
Yeah, I'm gonna say your little friends, so they gonna always be little to me. It's true. Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to say that there are some things that men have said that are cons for daddy's girls. We'll also talk about the cons for mama's boys. But some of the cons for daddy's girls is the princess mentality. That because this man has always been there and he is taking care of them, he's come to their rescue, they expect you to drop what you're doing and save them whenever they need them. Come right now, because that's what my daddy would do. Do you think, ladies, that you have been guilty of expecting a man to do that because of the way your dad has reacted to you?
I have been guilty of telling somebody I don't need you to do it because my daddy will.
And we know that's not right.
Exactly. Yes, we know that's wrong.
That's not the right response to have, you know.
And so I've, watched, but I have been in situations where I've, beginning of a relationship, I've kind of warned people that I am a daddy's girl, and so
So you know it's bad.
No, it's not that bad. And so I do rely on him a lot for things. So, but I work on that.
If you're warning somebody,
hey,
that's means it's
just letting them know, because it could be a problem. So you just want to let people know, like, it's not that serious. If we
said
become serious,
warn.
So I have a question to that. So when you let him know, you let us know, what is
warned?
Is there a time frame? Do you have this? Because eventually, if you get that strong man that pays attention to what goes on in the house, there's gonna have to be a shift.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Definitely.
So,
when I see a level of exclusivity, and
just made up a word.
I did, yeah.
No, exclusivity.
You just got to be able to say it.
Right.
It's nobody else's picture but us.
Right.
It's just us, and we're official.
Right. When we're official,
Right.
absolutely. Then I'm able to allow that
relinquish some of the responsibilities.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Exactly.
Or expectations of my father, but I'm not necessarily putting those expectations on you as the mate.
And men have to relinquish responsibilities as well,
Absolutely.
because a single man living by himself is doing everything for himself.
Right.
You paying your own bills, you washing your own clothes, you cooking your own food, you doing everything by yourself. And when she comes in, you have to relinquish some responsibility. Okay, well, you can start doing these things, just like it goes back and forth. And okay, I'm gonna take out the trash, and I'm gonna fix everything around the house. So you both, it's an exchange of responsibilities that you have to have.
That's great. She's fixing and taking out the trash.
We do.
Taking out the trash.
We're doing that because if you're a single woman by herself, if something's broken, Ashley's not gonna sit around and wait. This is broken, I'm gonna try to fix it.
Wait on her daddy.
No. Okay. So prime example. Let me give you an example of what happened. I come home, air conditioner's leaking. Of course, there's nobody in the picture, so first person I'm calling is my daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, air conditioner
Instead
leaking.
of the air conditioner man.
Why she gonna spend that money?
Call your daddy first.
Call your daddy my daddy first. Now my daddy lives 4 hours away,
so he can't
but
come
I call
right now.
him. But here's the thing: Shay just told you I'm gonna try to fix it myself before I go spend the money. So I call him, hey, this is what's what. Go up in the attic, take the cover off, do X, Y, and Z. Tell me what you see.
Right.
I go upstairs and I do it.
Yeah.
This is what I see. Okay, here's how you resolve it.
Remember, Dante, there's no man present now.
And daddy,
There's
no man present.
No man present.
He
walked me through
the
it.
steps.
Right.
So here I was able to fix it without having to spend any money.
Because he walked you through over the phone.
Because he walked me through it over the phone.
But if a man was in the picture,
If a man was in the
call her
picture,
boo
I'm
first.
calling him first. Hey, the air conditioner is X, Y, and Z.
Do you think you can?
Right.
Yeah, it's just a difference, and I think that's exactly right. Like, my dad is local, so if I said the air conditioner's leaking, okay, I'll be right there.
Right.
He would come. But if my man is home, and let's say my man is home, I'm gonna tell him, hey, the air conditioner's leaking, and then he'll go see if he can fix it. But men aren't as handy today. Let's just be honest.
At all.
Let's just be completely honest. And Daryl, I know you are an exception. I know that you're a mechanic before you say that. But let's just be honest across the board. Back in the day, because they didn't have the money to go call a plumber. They weren't calling a mechanic. They did it all. So you had a man who went to work. He came home. He fixed whatever was going on in the house. He fixed the cars. All men aren't like that. And so today, if your man is an attorney or your man is an engineer, he just does that. He doesn't know.
Right.
He can afford to get it fixed for you, but he doesn't know how to fix it. So you have to call somebody.
My dad's an accountant by trade, but he still knows how to fix
Back in the day, they know how to do multiple things.
Exactly.
That's just how, just like they don't make women the same way, because you know your mama could sew and cook and
Yeah.
clean and bake and do it all. They don't make. I know, Ashley, you're an exception.
Yeah.
I'm not that woman.
I gotta sew.
You want
I'm about
Susie
to learn how to
Homemaker?
sew.
Contact
I
Ashley.
teach a sewing class.
She can do sewing, she can bake, she can cook, she can do it all, and she also is a professional. But
Yes.
but everybody's not you. I'm not you. Majority of women aren't that way. And just like the majority of men aren't Mr. Handyman, aren't Mr. Fix It, you know. I mean, are you handy, Dante?
I got 2 of them.
You have 2 hands?
Should have said I got 2 of them. I can't even believe it.
What is he talking about?
That's his way of saying,
He
yes,
said
I'm
that.
handy.
Are you, like, okay, so if the air conditioner was leaking, would you be able to fix it?
I would.
If the air conditioner was leaking, would you be able to fix
Absolutely.
it? If her car was knocking, would you be able to fix it?
Try to diagnose it
Do that
first.
tune-up.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think y'all are exceptions. What about you,
Change
Jack?
spark
I got
plugs.
Google. I can Google whatever going on.
Right. People got Google.
No, I am pretty handy. I can build a house from the ground
Yeah.
up. I'm pretty.
But that's, I
Something-
mean, but
something
to the difference to most people, my mom was handy.
Your mom was handy.
Yeah, it wasn't nobody there like that. So you know
She
what I'm
had to do
saying.
it.
She always had tools, so it was always tools around.
Right.
My
It was
mom
al-
can fix things
It
too.
was always duct tape somewhere. You know what I'm saying? It was
think
always
we-
duct tape. So you know what I'm saying? Something. So yeah, it was that.
Yeah.
Now you know just me growing up. Unlike some people may have, my mom made great decisions in life.
What does
You
that
know what I'm
mean?
saying? Besides that, so I had great examples of people around my mother, of men around my mother.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She went with my dad, but I had great examples of men around my mother. So she made great decisions. So I was lucky. I'm going to consider that being lucky. Because I know, women today, they make,
Poor decisions.
not the best decisions.
I will think that it has something to do with the upbringing. I'm gonna go back to that. I really am, because another thing I think daddies teach little girls is strategic thinking. If my dad is a strategic thinker, and he's good at problem solving. So if I have a problem, I do call my dad if I have any problem. It could be, Daddy, what do you think about this? He's good at strategizing. Okay, well, okay, what are you trying to do? All right, so okay, well, let's see. I think the best thing would be to do blah blah blah. He's good at strategizing, problem solving. That's a skill I learned from my daddy. So going back to what we were saying, is there are strengths and weakness you get from both parents. I think they're both necessary for various reasons. And probably some of those women that you're talking about that aren't making good decisions, maybe they didn't learn problem solving skills, they didn't learn strategic thinking skills from having a father in the home. I'm not saying women can't be great problem solvers. Please do not think that's what I'm saying.
That's what you said.
That's not what I said. I'm not saying that. And just like you gave the example, your mom is handy. Okay? Your mom sounds like she's superwoman. She can cook, she can clean, she can fix things, she can do it all.
I've thought that.
You've thought that.
She was superwoman.
Yeah.
And is it hard to find a woman that does all those
I haven't
things?
found the cape yet. I've been looking.
You want to get her? You should get her a cake for Mother's Day.
I haven't found
And
the
tell her
cape
she's
yet.
your super mom. No, but seriously, I do think that's something that's key. That's key to the point of men aren't made the same way and women aren't made the same way. I think that's valid. I remember being in college when I first started dating, because my dad is a mechanic and my daddy is handy. I would know off the bat, you're not gonna measure up if you're not a little handy. You're not gonna even measure. My dad is not even gonna respect you if you're not a little. I knew that off the bat. I was dating this guy. I was in college. It was like 19, 20, and my car. My tire went flat. He didn't know how to change the tire. And I was just like, oh no, this is not gonna work.
Yeah.
This is not gonna work.
Yep.
This is not gonna work. And I knew it wasn't gonna work. It wasn't gonna work for me because I'm used to somebody at least trying. Just get down there and try. You know.
Act like you know what you're
He's
doing.
standing on the side of the road. You got AAA. And I just knew this was not gonna work. So my man he will try. He's handy. Handy like to the sense of, can you put these knobs on the cabinets? He can do that. Can you, he's not a mechanic, but little things I need, fix this. I bought this new furniture. Can you put it together? He can do that. That's something I need you to do. He put the grill together. Things like that. If you can't do any of those types of things, that's not going to work for me. That's not going to work. I know it's not going to work for me because I grew up with a mechanic. So that's not going to work for me.
Absolutely.
Not looking for you to be a mechanic, but you have to be a little bit. You can't be like, oh no, I don't want to get dirty. Let's call somebody. That's not gonna work for me.
Yeah.
So, because I will fix it myself. I can do it myself. Back to your point, I can assemble this myself. I don't want to.
Right.
So if you will do it, then I don't have to. I'm tired of doing it. Exactly. Because I would be my daddy's little helper when he was putting things together in the house. I'm right there. Exactly.
Right.
We grow up as helpers with our daddies. Like anything he was doing, he would call me to help him do it.
Yep.
And
See,
I
Dante,
think
you can't break that, bro.
you can't.
I mean, I have that. I know that.
Yeah.
I know that. I have that. I mean, everywhere if I could have been going to the mailbox, she was right there. You know what I'm saying?
Your little girl?
Yeah,
that's how it is.
everything I do,
We're your
for-
little clone. Like, where
for
you going,
years,
Daddy? Where you going?
I was a DJ, so she saw me deal with music for a long time. Now that's all she does.
Exactly.
Right.
Is listen to music. She went to Detroit. She went to the Motown Museum knowing more than the guide.
Because of your influence.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. So what she will grow up to be, that's why I said another pro for being a daddy's girl is we are ride or die. You are groomed as a little girl to partner with your daddy. So your daddy's doing something, he's building something, he bring you along to show you how to do it. So you're groomed from a little girl how to partner with the man. So when you get in a relationship, you already come to with this together partnership mentality. I really think it's a strength of being a daddy's girl.
I think so.
Right.
Yeah, you're not, and so it's really people think that you have this princess mentality of, oh, I need you to take care of me, but I really think it's more of, no, let's get this done.
Together.
You can come with a daddy's girl. You can say, I'm going through a hard time, and we're gonna be okay. What we need to do to get it done?
Right.
How are we gonna pull through? I think we just have that mentality.
Yeah.
Do you feel like
In addition to motivating you and encouraging you,
all of
through
it?
that.
You can
Because
do
I'm
this.
a woman, I know
Right.
how to encourage you. That's the softness you get from your mom.
Right.
You get the, okay, baby, you can do it. I believe in you.
Yeah.
But you also get, okay, let's get it done. Let's do it. From your dad. Now, I can identify that as a strength of being a daddy's girl. What strength do you see from being a mama's boy that you bring into a relationship?
The emotions of being able to be in tune to your emotions. That's a strength. Can also be a curse too.
Give me an example.
Going back to earlier, meeting that woman that hasn't had that father present, so she's not really going to understand or be able to receive, the connection of the emotions that I have for her. She's going to always put a wall up or always battle that. So that's kind of one of my things I've ran into.
Do you think that women who don't have a father tend to be more guarded?
More guarded.
They're more guarded, and so they're not as receptive to.
Because they never saw it work. They don't know what. If they didn't see it work, they don't know what to expect.
So I want you to date a daddy's girl.
I need to date a daddy's
Yeah,
girl.
I think you should too,
I
because
need to date a daddy's girl.
a daddy's girl is gonna expect that, right? So she's expecting you bringing what she's looking for. So that's
Right,
you don't even have to battle that,
Right,
know.
right.
So I want you to, I can help you with that,
You
but
help
I
me
want.
with that?
That's what she did.
I want you to.
Right, that's what she does.
That's what I do.
Dante, you hear that, brother? You hear that?
I don't know. I haven't
she didn't say that.
identified what Dante
No.
needs
She
yet.
didn't
I
say,
haven't
I don't
identified-
need a daddy's girl because
No.
her daddy's not going to approve.
Her dad's not gonna approve of you.
I take that back. I ain't gonna say I
Right.
never had a father approve, but her daddy's not going to approve. I'm too much of a man. You know what I'm saying?
What does
to-
So
that
he should have. So he
mean?
should
Like,
approve. He should approve.
No, most fathers
Real recognize real,
like,
right?
Like y'all, like you females said,
Ladies.
daddies want to be needed too, and you're not gonna need them.
So
don't
if
need
she
'em
get
like
with you,
that.
she's not gonna need her daddy.
I mean, you're not gonna need them like that.
She gonna always
No,
need a daddy.
Give me an example of where you would fill in. What
You're not
are
gonna
you
need 'em like
what are you
that.
filling
The same situation with the tire being flat. I mean, that's
You can do all of
that's-
those things.
That's bogus to me.
All right, so a woman is dating you. She could just one call. That's all.
One call. That's all. If I can't make it, listen. If I can't make it, somebody's on the way.
Okay.
Just tell me where you are. If I can't leave right now, somebody's on the way.
I think that's a great quality, Dante. Y'all hear Dante
somebody's
saying
on the way.
He got a
It's
network.
a rare quality.
That is.
Yeah.
I think that's a great quality.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, with whatever. The fan ain't working. Oh,
you got that.
Yeah. If I'm cool, I have to be cool. So I'm gonna get
Dante is off the chain, y'all. I don't even know what to say.
I'm gonna get the fan working.
Yes.
There's nothing that you can't do yourself. Well, I mean, you could be too busy, and which should be understandable. But earlier, me and Raven were talking about most men want a woman that can relate to them, can relate to their plight daily. Whether you working hard or whether you this, that, and other, most men want a woman that can relate to what it is they doing. So most things, maybe it's my example. Most things a woman would just try to handle herself and not off the rip. And I'm not talking about a tire or changing the ceiling fan. But, you know what I'm saying, if it's a nail hanging out of the door, it's okay to grab
Something
a
small
hammer.
she can do, yeah.
And even if you mess it up, I can say, well, you tried, baby.
Right.
You tried.
So, okay.
Now, don't do that again.
What is a perk you think, Erica, that you bring to the table being a daddy's girl? What's one perk that you bring to the table?
Independence. My daddy taught me strength. That's where I got my work ethic from. That's it basically. Just independence, but still being feminine and independent, or knowing when to be dependent.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, he showed me an example. So he never set me down and say these are the things that a man should do for you, but he just showed me through his example of what I should expect from a man that comes into my life. And so he never judged me based on the relationships decisions that I made. He just allowed me to make the decisions that I made, and he supported me through that. But I never made a bad decision. But
I'm sure you made some.
I'm sure, I learned from all of my mistakes. But I'm sure that if he saw me going down, a dark, please put it down. Please don't say nothing.
Right, please.
Right.
No,
but I'm sure if he saw me going down a dark path, that he would have pulled me back.
Mm-hmm.
But he showed me, he taught me lessons through his example.
Right. All right. What's one perk you bring to the table? What do you bring to the table from being a daddy's girl? Ashley?
So I'm going to say loyalty. I think being a daddy's girl, I understand how to be loyal. I understand what it means. I understand what it looks like, and I can be loyal to a fault.
That's a Capricorn trait too.
It's a Capricorn trait, but I really feel like I really got an understanding of it from my daddy. I'm always gonna be there. I'm always gonna be supportive. Things may not look like it's the best situation, but I'm gonna be there to encourage you and motivate you. And then, like you said, okay, what can we do to get to the next level? Because I feel like it should be a partnership. We got to build this together. You're not in this by yourself. We're together in this, and so let's build to get to where we need to get to get over this slump or whatever the case
together.
may be.
Mm-hmm. All right, Dante, what's one perk you bring to the table from being a mama's boy?
Everything.
Y'all come get Dante Williams.
I'm gonna say this.
Come get him, please.
No, seriously.
He's cooler than polar bear's toenails.
Trust me, it's hard. But I think, like he was saying, as far as being in tune, it's certain tools you're gonna need, in life. Well, maybe not always with family and in home, but certain things you're gonna need to be able to deal with certain things, and you cannot get that from both parents. Which like I said, I got a lot from my mom as far as being able to endure and persevere and survive and this and other. But there were certain things I knew I was missing from my dad, which, created kind of
overcompensation.
No, it was, with me wanting a relationship with him, I eventually forged one.
Okay, you made it happen.
Right.
Let me ask you something. Did your mom teach you how to cook and clean and stuff?
Yeah.
I do think that tends to be a perk
That's a
too
perk. That's
of
a
dating
perk.
a
Yes.
mama's boy, because
Yes,
they tend to
absolutely.
come with all those things
we,
they get
we,
from
we
mama.
come equipped. I said everything.
I will clean a little bit too.
They clean, they cook.
Yeah.
I
I said
love those
everything when you
things
asked
because
me.
I don't like to do those things. So come on, mama's boy.
So, yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. It's
No.
like you
No,
said,
my
it's
man
in
does it
tune.
all,
It's
too.
noticing the little things.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, which could be, like I said, it could be to a fault too, but
Yeah.
I do bring that, you know what I'm saying, to the table that I pay a little bit more attention to detail or whatever the case. But,
Yeah.
you know, for most people,
Right.
you know, like I said, it could be good or bad.
Yeah.
A lot of women don't want somebody that notices every little thing.
I do. I like it. I like the attentiveness. Did you tell me your thing that you're bringing to the table?
Cooking, the cleaning, attentive, paying attention.
I think those are great qualities.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I want to thank you all for being on the show. I hope that we've helped to dispel some of the myths and rumors of, daddy's girls being spoiled brats and, mama's boys being soft, whatever people think about it. I think there are pros and cons of being a daddy's girl and being a mama's boy. And hopefully we've shed some light. And, Facebook friends, y'all are always free to chime in. I do want to read a couple more comments before we close out. Cassandra said, I was raised in the country on a ranch. Dad, uncles, mom, and aunts taught me everything. I cook, fix things. So geographics do matter. Being a daddy's girl makes you well-rounded. And Clifton, yes, we did define daddy's girl and mama's boy in the very beginning, so you have to replay it to hear those definitions. Thank you all for joining us today on our conversation with Cupid on being a mama's boy, dating a mama's boy, and a daddy's girl. For those of you all who attended the masquerade match last weekend, thank you so much. We had a ball, and there were some connections formed, so stay tuned for the next event, which is going to be New Year's Eve. As always, I hope you all have a wonderful week. You can find me at middleclassmatchmaker.com or on my dating site, Middle Class Match. Thank you all for joining Conversations with Cupid. And you have
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Everybody's single, so look them up. Reach out to them if anybody piques your interest. Randolph needs a daddy's girl, so. And I think also if y'all had mama's boys, Erica and Ashley, that would help too, because you already coming to the table with this half. If he brought the other half, well,
You might have a point.
yeah,
You
it's
might have a point,
possible.
right?
It's possible.
Something to think about.
You just never know. Let's try it and
Never
see.
know.
Let's try it and see. I definitely like a man who can do it all. I need you to fix things, cook things, wash things, do it all.
Right.
Yes, we've been dating in the wrong direction, right?
Maybe switch it up.
Switch
Let's
it
see.
up a
Let's
little
see what we
bit.
get. All right. Thank you all for joining us. Until next week. Have a wonderful week. Smooches.
Get ready to be Conversations with Cupid Radio. Host Shay Primus on InstinctRadio.net.
If you would like to advertise your business on Conversations with Cupid, airing every Thursday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Instinct Radio, email us at shay@middleclassmatchmaker.com. That's shay at